What is going on, guys? We are here with another Overprime video. How is everyone doing today? We are finally making a guide on probably one of the most underrated characters in the entire game, who I consider the best character to have on your team in the game. She's just the best character in the game, but solely just because of her insane kit, which we'll go over all of that. But if you guys are here, if you like the video, please do drop a subscribe. We are close to 1,000. It is the new year. Happy New Year to all of you, by the way. I hope you guys had a wonderful 2022 on 2023. I'm praying this game is gonna pull through, succeed, and be popping later in the year. It's only in early access, so we still got some time. I know it was pretty depressing video last time with the declining player numbers, but I'm super excited to look forward to the future for this game. The game has been out for a little less than a month, and it's just been so much fun. I've been playing every single day. I haven't taken a single day off of playing this game because I love it so much. So yes, definitely subscribe if you guys are enjoying the content. I'm going to keep putting it out nonstop. I don't know if it's going to keep being daily, but we're still going to be putting out guides and stuff, starting with this one as well with the Aurora guide. Definitely needed to get this out there. I'm pretty sure my next guide is going to be Kwong. So if you guys are wondering who the next guide is going to be, it'll definitely be Kwong or Shinbi, just some of my favorite characters personally. And I'm looking forward to doing those ones specifically because they're just really fun characters and I really like playing them. So. But yes, anyways, like I said, drop a subscribe if you guys do like the content. I'll be putting out more guides, content, and everything, etc. And thank you guys so much for your support. I look forward to going into 2023 with this game. And without further ado, let's begin the guide video for Aurora. Now, Aurora is the best character in the game. I think definitively people who know how to play her well know that she's probably the best character in the game. But it's weird that, misconception. And I think this was warranted by the fact that when I think it was the first beta test when ranked was available, the final beta test, she was banned in first day. Everyone thought she was the biggest problem ever. She got banned nonstop. Second day, they stopped it. They were like, okay, gadget's now a problem. But it was interesting seeing that because it's quickly changed, because in most of the time, I believe it's just people that know how to play her is the biggest issue. Aurora is just insanely good. She has a root. She has a team wiping ult basically for your team, basically to wipe everybody. She has insane mobility, and I mean crazy mobility. She's pretty much anti-melee. She's anti-gank. Like, she's very, very difficult to gank. It's pretty much wasted resources. If your team is playing the game, Aurora's pretty much always going to be it's going to be like wasted opportunity trying to gank her, because even if you get the kill, it'll be after a long hard fought battle of just trying to chase her around, and even then you're probably like half HP because she decided to ult you, and maybe you're dead, who knows. Yeah, she's insane. She's absolutely busted. And we're going to go over her kit today, basically what she does and kind of some tips and tricks for her. And then we're also going to go over the build recommendations I have for her. There isn't too many versatile builds like with Sereth. Sereth can be played literally every role pretty much except support. So reasonably anyways. And Aurora can't be. I believe Aurora only has 2 roles. So, yep. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into her build discussion path. Hers is pretty simple. Honestly, I think she's a pretty simple character. So Aurora has a couple of abilities here. She has Glacial Barrier, Frozen Tract, Glacier Explosion, and then Frigid Illusion, and then her basic. Her basic, obviously, is a Cleave. You can hit multiple enemies with it. All you just do is left click. This makes it good for clearing minions and clearing wave. She is a melee caster, so she isn't classified as a tank. But don't let that fool you. She is a tank. She is the only caster tank, truly the one who wants to build full defense for the most part. You could build a little bit of damage, but I don't like, it doesn't feel good to me. I really just like going full tank. If you do want damage, it's viable though, don't get me wrong. I don't have any build paths for that. I haven't figured that out yet. We never really get to the end of the game usually. I just stop at like 4 or 5 items usually. But she is a true tank. She is like, I think there's only 5 tanks in the game and she's one of them. Along with Rampage, or 5 true tanks, Rampage, Grux, Kwong, and Steel, I think, are the 4 other tanks, and then you have her being the 5th tank. You can argue Narbash, but whatever. Regardless, there is 5 that is supposed to be that could be solo lane, anyways, which is her main role, by the way. But yeah, Aurora, she's a tank. She's insane. Her mobility is insane. Like I said, her left click is just to cleave, wide, arcing, it's probably not the best cleave in the game, but it's pretty insane. Like, you hit a lot of things, and it's really good for certain items. It pairs well with items like Pendant of Confinement really well. It just feels really good to have the cleave, and then you have that pulse as well. But yes, her first ability, her right click anyways, Frigid Illusion, is a leap. It's a mobility tool. It literally just is just that, a mobility tool. It has a slow, so when you actually press it near an enemy, it slows them by 35%. So if you're chasing an enemy and you have trouble keeping the basics, you can press right click to flip over them, and then it will provide that 35% slow for 3.5 seconds. And it also taunts enemy Tions, so it will taunt the minions. So if you're in the wave, all you have to do is hit the circle, and then, well, okay, so all purposes, let's talk about solo lane first, right? So let's say you're in solo lane, right? And you walk up to the wave. Well, we'll go over her other ability first as well. Glacial Barrier. It creates an ice ring in the surrounding area for 1.2 seconds. So it's a 1.2 second ice ring. The ring inflicts root on enemies that touch them for 1.5 seconds. A deal 241 plus 65% scaling, or 215 times 65% scaling magical damage. Now this won't really increase. This is your only damaging ability. It's your bread and butter. It's what, you know, allows you to get kills, chase, do whatever. It's really nice. Yeah, this is just, yeah, again, this is the first ability you start with. This is how you clear wave. This is how you do things. She's really, it's super easy to clear wave with this ability. It's really strong. Now, with this ability, when you're going to clear the wave, don't use your abilities on the wave in solo when you're fighting a melee character. If you're fighting a melee, do not use the circle until they get close to you. There's no reason. Obviously, there are different situations. If they're not in the lane, you can use it, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But I'm talking about when you're leaning against them, just don't use it. The reason being, because you are anti-melee with this ability. If you are autoing the wave and they decide to walk up, you hit this, and then you instantly press your right click to back up, and literally just back up. That's it. That's all you do. You wait for your ring to come back, you walk back up to the wave, you do it again. Right when they come close to you, hit the ring, hit the backflip. Now, you have to be careful about certain characters with CC, like Grux, who has a pull. He can actually pull you out of your right click. Obviously, you have another mobility tool, which we'll go over here. But that is the strat and how to beat melees. I always get confused as to why Auroras are like losing their lane, or the solo laner isn't almost dead if they're melee. It is so simple. Obviously, if it's ranged, it's a whole different ball game. You don't really fight ranged. You just stay back and let your jungler take care of them. You can keep farm, keep up with gold, rotate more, but don't worry about the range. They're not, you know, they're just range users. They'll fall off anyways. But with, you know, solo lane with Aurora, again, any melee character, doesn't matter who it is, even Kwang, really, he's better against you, but he still has trouble against you. I'm not sure, again, your goal as Aurora isn't to beat your matchup, it's to hinder them so much to where your team can gank them easily, and you can beat your matchup. I play plenty of solo laners all the time. I can out-rotate them really easily. Steel is a little bit of a problem, I feel like, because it's really easy for him to interrupt your ice circle when you're putting it down. But just be careful of his dash. Pretty much it. You have to just watch out. Maybe wait for it, honestly. But yeah. Super easy to beat melees, like I said. Any other melee, like Grux, Zena, any of them, you completely dominate. They take way too much damage, and then you right-click, and the minions, instead of focusing you when you hit them, hit the clone. Like I said, they taunt enemy Tions. So right-click, or circle, and then you hit the right-click. Now, her other ability is her Ice Trail. This basically makes her go in a straight line. Charges forward, leaving an ice trail behind that lasts for 7 seconds. Now, some of the abilities in the game never explain what they actually do. So for the first 200 hours probably of my, my gameplay session, I've had probably, at this point, I had like 11 or 12 hours on Aurora. I never knew that, you can use the, you lose left click, right? You just go straight. So I always thought, whenever I was near a wall, for some reason, when it showed this, it would mean it would go up, right? No, that's not the case. And you've seen giant walls before. So I never knew this. This amazed me when I found out. This changed the entire game. This made Aurora even a million times more broken. If you look up, right? Let's say you just look up, like kind of like this, right? And you use the ice trail. You go up. You go straight up. Never knew that. For so long, I was so confused as to like why it wouldn't work sometimes. Yes, you just look up in the sky and you will go up, which makes transversing really. Now this ability has a lot of glitches to it. So until Overprime fixes their servers or whatever the glitch is, that being said, it's not often that it occurs, but it happens frequently enough, at least once or twice a game, to where I'll fall through it. And I spam this ability. Now, if you get ganked, this is the tool. Don't use this tool unless you want to wall off the wave and you know the jungler is not there, or if you need to escape. I'd honestly just keep it as an escape. You could spam your right click all you want. This will be the way you get out. But yes, this tool is going to be how you escape all situations. Now, this went from, in my opinion, being her worst ability because you couldn't control it to being her best ability. The fact that in lane, when you're fighting someone, let's say you're going for a gank, right? Let's say you're rotating to mid and the mid laner's there, and they might have an escape or whatever. To keep them there for a few more seconds, just go right when you walk into lane, instantly create the ice wall and block them off. They'll have to now go around. Now, usually you'll be in a place where it'll you can actually wall off the entire lane going into the tower, which is super cool. But in duo, it's really nice, really effective. I've been using this so much now. The ganks are so insane. And also just the ability to kind of just reevaluate the situation, go up here and look at what's going on and wait for your abilities up here while the enemy is trying to kill you up there. It's hilarious. It's so nice. And then you're like, you're waiting to see, okay, when do I want to use my ult? It also is a good way to catch up to people. So instead of running at them, going up and then jumping off is probably a better way because you can actually get a lot more distance that way than just going straight. I don't know. I just really like this ability now. Now that I know you can look up, that's a tip if you didn't know that. Just look up in the sky. And there you go. Also, try not to use the ring in the air. Another tip. Usually it has glitches and doesn't hit. Just wait till you're on the ground. It works sometimes, but it's really glitchy. Doesn't really work that well, so try not to use this in the air. I think yeah, you have right click. Like I said, her kit, pretty simple. Nothing too insane, nothing too out there. But her ultimate, which I can't showcase in this minion for some reason, is freezes nearby enemies, slowing them by 20% for 2 seconds. So you cast the ultimate, right? There's a 2-second slow with this. Now this can be interrupted, so you got to be careful when you use it. But this is the best ultimate in the game by far. I don't even, you can compare every other ultimate. This has to be the best ultimate in the entire game. It shuts down literally any character, and it's a very wide ult. It's insane. It's your anti-gank tool if you want to actually 2v1. I've 2v1 with this ability in solo and in mid. It's absolutely insane. You press your ultimate, it slows them for 2 seconds. So that already has a 2-second slow. And then in 2 seconds, right after the slow's over, it explodes. It stuns them for a second and deals 467 total damage. It's a scaling, so if you go full damage, it would destroy them, but you're not going to go full damage. But it deals 467 damage, and when the stun ends, it deals 126 bonus magical damage to enemies within range and stuns them for 0.5 seconds. So the stun ends and it deals 126 to enemies within the range and stuns them for 0.5 seconds. So the people who get hit with it get slowed for 2 seconds and stunned for 1, and they get dealt the damage. So this is when you press your ultimate, right? What I like to do is I'll ult, wait for the stun to happen, and then I'll root them at the end of it to make them even more CC'd. Then I'll chase them, right? And it's just instantly, as a full tank, half their HP pool is gone. You're autoing them the entire time, of course, and then right when they get away, you'll chase them, whatever. It's an insane tool. And now this, again, when you're in comp, imagine you're fighting over Orb, and Aurora comes in as a tank, ults them, full health, instantly jumps on everybody, puts the root down, hits 3-4 people, and you're just dominating them. You have a Sparrow or even a Twin Blast, whatever. You have a Gideon ult, you have a Faye ult, you have a Gadget ult. It's insane. The team play as a solo laner, the best ult you could ever have in the game. It still is the best ult in the game. It's a stun, it's a slow, it's a 1-second stun, a 2-second slow, and then if you get close to it, it's a 0.5-second stun for anyone who gets near the enemies who are exploding. So if you try to get near any of the people who are iced, you get stunned as well. It's a chain effect, and they get dealt a little bit of damage as well. About a 40% scaling from 110. It's so powerful. I can't stress enough how powerful it is. You'll see it in the video a couple of times that I'm going to have up, but it is actually probably like I said, the best ability in the game. Yeah, and that's her kit. It's pretty simple. Like I said, not much to it. I don't think she's actually that hard. It's just more about the mind games. The laning phase is extremely simple, extremely easy. It's not hard. In solo lane, like I said, you're anti-melee. If you're fighting a range, sit back at your tower, clear the wave, let your jungler take care of it, and help them when it comes. You'll keep levels and gold with them, even if you're staying in your tower. Just make sure to rotate a lot. Take advantage of the times when the waves push up to their tower. Literally just rotate every single time. Take the portal every single time. You'll beat them every single time. As long as your jungler's playing the game. Honestly, your mid laner as well. Anyone playing the game, you'll win. You don't have to beat your ranger. Rangers, like I said, they go in solo. They have no defense. Now in mid is a little bit different. You basically are a second jungler, like most mids should be, but mid with Aurora is honestly, I'm starting to think she's the best mid laner in the game. She is the best solo laner, definitively. I don't think there's anyone better than her. She just has too much team play. She has too much pressure, way too much mobility. She's a very hard character to catch. She's just not good at killing people by herself, I will say. So if you're trying to you're trying to solo everyone in the game, you're super, just play Kwang, don't play Aurora, or play Seraph, or someone with high damage. She's a team play character. I'll preface that. I think Muriel is broken too, but she can't solo everyone in the game. She keeps her whole team alive. Aurora enables the whole team in team fights, which are the most important. Not even in team fights. If you want to get one kill on a specific person, you just ult them and they die. It's super insane. As long as your team knows how to play the game, she's broken. Obviously, if you're with new players and you're playing by yourself, people, again, in low elo, she probably doesn't seem that good, but in high elo, she should be insane. Like I said, you're literally disabling every other character in the game. Now, that being said, in mid lane is a little bit different. You get a lot of farm, you get ganked more, which means you have to fight more, and you could rotate easier. I think mid might be a better role for her in a lot of situations because the way tanks are right now. That might change in the future, though, once tanks are nerfed. They, please, dear God, nerf tanks. They're so fucking broken. But once they nerf tanks, I think that'll change in the future. So looking past everything, right, let's say it was a non-tank meta, mid probably won't be as viable for her unless they add some different items or whatever, or they buff her damage even more, which again, I don't know. I haven't really tried full damage ever. I don't want to die, so tank is just too good not to try. But as a full damage dealer, you aren't as adequate. Granted, her ult will hit very hard. It's just applying that ultimate is very hard and difficult. And she only has one damaging ability, sadly. Maybe they can, once tanks are nerfed, make her right click explode and then nerf her ult stun damage or her damage in general, because I think it'd be way too overbearing. But I would like her to be more of a mid laner if she's a caster. Otherwise, keep her a tank, right? But yeah, tanks being broken right now. You can go tank mid. You clear the wave level 1, you instantly walk up to the wave. Don't worry about them hitting you with your one ability that they have. It doesn't matter if it's Faye, Gadget, whoever. Clear the wave. You clear way faster than any other mage in the game, faster than Shinbi. You clear faster than which is your only other competition. You clear faster than Countess. You clear the fastest in the game. Well, probably. At least, I guess people aren't as aggressive, so. But walk up to the wave, instantly clear it, and then instantly walk left or right, depending on where the wave is. I do recommend going to duo, because it's easier to gank. Go to solo if you want, but duo is probably the best option. Either way, go for whatever lane looks like they're struggling the most, or whatever lane's pushed up more. Instantly go for a gank at level 1, get behind them, put your root down. That's my strat every single game. That never changes. It is super broken, super OP, because you'll outclear, you'll instantly go a different lane, get level 2 there, instantly come back, get level 3, maybe even level 4, rotate again. That's literally what you're doing. You're basically playing a second jungle, and also rotate in the jungle to help your jungler when needed. And then when you hit level 6, it's game over. You're now a mid laner with an insane CC ability, and you're extremely tanky. You could beat your mid laner right away because you get Zimia's toy first, which we'll go over. Yeah, she's broken. She's absolutely busted. Aurora's fun. She's really fun. I think she's one of the most fun characters in the game. She's really high skill, I feel like, just because of her mobility, but she's super easy to use regardless of that. More like easy to play, hard to master kind of thing. She's really fun. There's a lot of cool text you could do with her in game, getting away, escaping every situation. Super nice, super fun. And her ultimate is just, like I said, the best thing you can have on a team. So, like I said, I think she's easily the most broken character in the game. I know a lot of people have different opinions saying, oh, but Rampage, oh, but Steel. Like, no, dude, Aurora. Rampage has one rock, it stuns for 3 seconds. Aurora's ult wins team fights all the time. Rampage can miss his rock. Aurora really can't miss her ability if she gets close, so it's like, I don't know. I think she's busted. Anyways, going into her build path. So we're going to go look at her build, check it out, see what's up here. So Aurora, her build. So I put this in the video as well, so you can go down and click on the link to see her build in general. Take a look, copy it. You can do plenty of different things. Tanks are so versatile in this game. You just need to have your core items. High-end Pendant of Confinement, high-end and Zimia is really, that's all you need. Pendant of Confinement is optional, but very, very, very good. Everything else is optional. It does not matter. It's really dependent on the comp, though. Like, you have to acknowledge what comp you have. Like, a lot of times people will go double or triple ranger, or like double crit or triple crit. So then you're going to be able to anti-crit eventually, but it depends on the build path. But yeah, she's insane. So going down to her build path, you start with Zimia's toy, of course. Zimia's toy enabling you, dealing 34 to 51 magical damage every second, and it increased damage to Tions for 25% and 100% for monsters. Now, I know people will be like, but can she jungle? her jungling is like any other tank. Rampage, Sevarog, Steel, they're all just slower than other characters. It's viable to an extent, but it's just so slow. You're gonna fall behind unless you leech so much farm from your waves, which you can, but it's like she's so much more taken advantage of in mid and in solo because she's better for handling ganks than engaging. And winning those 1v1s without her ult are going to be very difficult. You'd rather have like a Serath or like a Grux or a Fang Mao or something in the jungle, or a Kwang even Kwang being the full tank, he'd still be good in the jungle over her. I'd say keep her out of the jungle. So if you guys are wondering about that, you can jungle with her, but it's like any other tank, it's just very slow. I know people are like, Rampage jungle's OP. Like, dude, if you ever fight a Rampage jungle, just invade him. He's so easy to invade. He might stun you, and if his team comes, you're dead. But like I said, if your team comes and you get on him, he'll kill him at level 2. It's just, you'll know that if you play a tank jungle, you should know how slow it is. I've played Rampage jungle before. I've dominated because no one invaded me. It's so slow. It just takes so long. Anyways, sorry, enough about, jungling. So Zymia's obviously deals 34 to 51 magical damage scaling by level. It goes higher depending on what you have as well, or any boost you get, like Deer, I think increases it, or might increase it. I've seen the proc go up to like 94. That might be because I'm hitting jungle minions though. Zymia's is the bread and butter. Again, if you guys are playing the game, you should know how broken Zymia's is. It literally gives you dual defense. It gives you 40 physical and 30 magical, 250 health and 10% CDR. Always on Aurora, this should always be your first item. No exceptions. It doesn't matter if there's full magical, full physical, it doesn't matter. First item is always going to be Zymia's toy. It's going to let you... this is what gets you kills, basically. This, combined with Pendant, will always get you kills. So with this build, this is the build I like to do. Second, you'll always go Pendant. If there isn't like triple, quadruple carry, I always love going Pendant. This is literally how you're going to get even more kills. The pull as a tank, you're going to get this pulse off more than anyone else. Your damage is already extremely high as a tank, and then you have 150 magical bonus on top of that. This is actually her recommended build path. I believe it goes from Zymia's into this, into high end. I think that's her first 3 items, but I'm not entirely sure. But yes, a successful basic attack on an enemy within 3 seconds after using a skill slows the enemy by 30%. So it's a 30% slow for 1.5 seconds. On top of your root, really good. There's other options as well, like Swamp Cloak and stuff, but this is what I like to do personally. And deals 150 bonus magical damage to all nearby enemies. This also helps you clear wave, even though you don't really need it. You already have Zymia's. This does help you clear wave a good amount, so that's pretty nice. Again, the 50 magical and 300 health, 350 mana and 50% CDR. Just really broken, really OP. Again, this can change in the future. Don't get me wrong. I hope they nerf all these stats. But right now, currently, as the time of making this video, check the time of the video as well. This is what I would recommend on her. I'll probably make an update, like a little small update video, or maybe an update build guide or whatever for her personally. But this is what I like to do. Into high end for the when there's any excessive amount of physicals, which usually every match has an excessive amount of physicals. High end armor. High end armor, decrease received damage from enemies, basic attack, and physical skills by 12%. So you get 55 physical, 250 health, and 2.5 health regen, and a 12% reduction in any physical damage. Obviously, this is the best anti-physical item you can get in the game. Really broken, like I said. After this, it's pretty much whatever you want. Honestly, these last 3 items can be interchanged with anything. As long as you have the holy trinity of items here, Zymia's, Pendant, and high end, you're fine. These items are really good. Pendant gives you 50% CDR as well. Your goal is to get up to 40 or 35 CDR as well. So that's kind of your goal. And then you have Artificial Gravity Inductor, which gives you 70 physical, which is huge, 300 health, and 10% CDR. And remember, there is an active on this item, so remember that, which is a 10%, or sorry, it's a attack speed reduction and physical power reduction, 20% for physical power for 3 seconds, and attack speed by 30% for 3 seconds. So remember, you have an active with this. This item's really strong. I've used it like once, but if the game gets to this point, or if it's a really serious game, it's probably your best option, to be honest. It's an insane amount of physical too. They're gonna have to build more and more pen, and then they're gonna lose to their matchups, and you'll still be extremely tanky, and you get a lot of health. So this one is only if there's a lot of CC. You actually don't need this. Honestly, you can change this out with literally anything. Like I said, these last 3 items as well. But yeah, get this if there's a Rampage that just keeps stunning you specifically for some awful reason, or if there's like a Steel, just get it. It helps you get un-CC'd. Oh, I don't know about the knockups actually. It also helps with anyone with a debuff as well, so like a slow. So if someone has like mini Moda, it heals you. so it's nice. It's a 30-second cooldown though, but it also 30% tenacity helps with CC in general. It's just really nice to have. It definitely works. It doesn't, I know people will say it doesn't. It feels like it works. I definitely feel like I'm not getting stunned as much with the Rampage Rock. I built this. It felt really nice. It's a really good item, but if you don't want it, you can change it out for literally anything else. If there's not a lot of CC in the game, like I said, change it out for literally anything else. Doesn't matter. And Sweet Life obviously being really good. When you get a kill, you heal a lot. This heal is pretty massive. The stats are insanely good. You get 30 physical, 600 health, 250 mana. You know, you love mana as a mage. You are technically a mage, and 10% CDR. It's just a really good item overall. It's considered one of the broken items right now. I think it's okay. I think they might need to tune down the health a little bit, just to like 300, which is halfway, you know, sliced in half. It's not really a little bit, but yeah, it's a really good item. It's not what I would build first. I like building this fourth, to be honest, but that's like overloading on physical usually. Granted, you don't need a lot of magical in the game. Magicals usually aren't that big of an issue, but if there's a lot of magical, then you want that, you know, more magical. I would just use a starter build, but yeah, pretty standard build. Definitely one I'd recommend. And then we have the mid game set, which again is just another build. Zinnia's Toy. This is the physical rush build. This is what I call it. So physical rush, if there's a lot of physical and you want to counter most of the physical, or if the physicals are the biggest issue, you can still use this in a magical build, but this is literally if you're fighting a ranger and you're losing really bad, or if you need to counter physicals because you keep getting yanked or whatever, just rush physical. This works on any other tank, by the way. These builds work on any other tank pretty much. So high-end armor second, and then anti-crit third. Realistically, if the physicals are a problem, it's probably the carry. And then, you know, if there's two carries in the game, they're both putting crit, you want this. This is going to negate their damage a lot. This item is really, really good. I thought it wasn't good until I used it. I'm like, damn, they do 0 damage to you when you get this item if they're focused on crit. So even if they have pen, grab this. It's going to help you. Grab it third if there's such a big issue, and then you go into your artificial gravity inductor for more physical. Now, if the magicals are still an issue, you can switch this around. You can go pendant fourth or third, depending on what's going on. But high end will probably be enough to negate a lot of their damage. And then you need the anti-crit as well. If this is your goal, I'd recommend not really using this build often. You can honestly, even if there's a lot of physical, go independent second still. But it's just an option I put up there. And then obviously tenacity last just for the CC reduction. But if you don't need that, go another physical or a magical, whatever. Doesn't really matter what you use. There's plenty of other tank options. Like I said, this is just my personal recommendation. You know, I'm not a build guru. I don't think that my build is the best ever. It's just what I've seen work and be effective. But yeah, that's pretty much it for build paths. Aurora, there it is. There's the guide. I know I rambled a lot about her. I love her too. Just like Sarah, she's my second favorite character in the game. I use her a crap ton. I think I have almost a full day on her in playtime. Just short of Sarah, who's probably almost at 2 days now. She is just amazing. Like, she's definitely undervalued. Like I said, I still cannot see a situation where she's not more valuable than like a Rampage or a Steel or any of those characters in a proper team fight, because her ultimate it's not about her having constant pressure. It's just what she does, especially because she can also wall off people as well. Like, it's also basically a form of CC. But not only that, she can also just ult, and then it's just a free. It doesn't matter who it is. If your team is playing the game, it's a free kill. So let's say again you're in Aurora, you ult. It's like, yeah, she's not an ult bot, but she kind of is. It's like, she's insanely powerful though. Her ultimate's so good. I definitely enjoy playing her. She's just one of my favorites. I love playing her mid the most. I think mid is, like I said, just my most fun role. Probably want to keep her in solo because you still want the high mage damage to easily pick out the carry as well as the other mid laner or whatever. But again, if tank mages are the problem, she's the biggest problem because she's the best tank mage in the game, right? Like, she's the best tank in the game, realistically. Just being, you know, not soaking up damage, but the way she works, mobility, escape, all this other stuff, ult, and CC. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the guide. That's pretty much it for Aurora. I'm again, best girl, probably one of the top waifus in the game. My next guide will probably be Shinbi or Kwang. Like I said, I'm planning on Kwang more than anything, but Shinbi if I feel like switching for some reason. Still haven't found that perfect Kwang build yet, but he's just so broken. I love abusing him. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this is a lot of rambling. I definitely enjoy Aurora. She's really, really, really fun. Just again, try her out if you haven't. Try this build if you haven't. Just play high, you know, you can play defensively. She's more of a defensive tank, but you can play offensively as well, especially if you go mid. Just play really aggressive. She's really fun. Save your ultimate for team fights or for getting a kill while by yourself, but you're not a solo character. Try to play with your team. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. And yes, like I said, the build guide is going to be below, so if you want to copy this build and you have it up, click on the link below. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.